The Class 801 is a type of a 5 and 9 coach electric multiple unit. Built by Hitachi Rail at its facility where George Stephenson assembled the locomotion number 1. The trains in real life are currently operated by good old London North Eastern Railway, and in Stepford County Railway. It is easily recognized for being the one of the most common trains you see outside of the noob trains. These trains are operated by Stepford Express. They can be seen serving places such as Stepford Central, St Helens Bridge, Ellesmere Junction, Newry Harbour, which didn't have overhead wires, Newry, Benton, Morganstown, Leighton Stepford Road, Leighton City, Edgemead, Wester Coast with a dull footbridge, West Wyvern without collision on its footbridge, North Shore, which is Vex SG's favourite station, and Lynn by the Sea. So what are these trains that are known for being the starter train for Stepford Express? Let's find out. The Class 801 were the first of the 2 trains that has been added alongside the HST and the release of Stepford Express on SCR version 1.4, which was released on December 17, 2019. The trains alongside the HST were Next Generation V1. The Class 801 are costs at 2250 points, but at that time the trains are costed at 1800 points till December 26, as part of SCR's Christmas sale. It was then raised back at 2250 points. The Class 801 is known by many people for being the starter train for Stepford Express, and there is the reason. The Class 801's price is at 2250 points, which is cheaper than the Class 43 HST, which costs at 3000 points. This led to being one of the common trains you will see if you're going to Stepford Central or Lynn by the Sea, as these trains mostly use RO77, which is the Lynn via Benton route. The trains is also one of the best cabs in the game accordingly to many people's opinions. This has changed, as the Class 220/221 was added on 10 million update, as when the Voyager trains being added on Express, the popularity of the Class 801 had slightly decreased, but gained back of its popularity when the Class 801 was being meshed in version 1.7 update. Speaking of mesh trains, when head of brand design TPX_JM sneak peeked the new Express livery on October 10, 2020, and on 28 October, Managing Director Charlie RBX posted a sneak peek of the upgraded Class 801 in the new Express livery. And on 29 October 2020, version 1.7 was released, with the Class 801 being upgraded to Next Generation V3, or mesh model. Previously it would be meshed alongside its brethren, the Class 802, courtesy of overhead wires, but it was delayed, because the rebuild was taking more time than expected. In 2021, these trains are still common to see on many Stepford Express route, but when the HST mesh model was released on version 1.7.2, the popularity had decreased for a little while till it returned its commonality. But on 2022, this has changed. And on the 27th of February 2022, Managing Director Charlie_RBX had posted a sneak peek of the anticipated Class 220/221 mesh upgrade, and on the same day, the Class 220 and 221 mesh model was released alongside the anticipated Class 380 on SCR version 1.8.3 update. When the Class 220/221 had received its anticipated mesh upgrade, on version 1.8.3 update, the Class 801 had started to decrease its popularity, due to the number of players driving these trains, but this can pointed out by many players' opinions that the Class 220/221 is the starter train for Express. The Class 801's popularity had further decreased with the release of SCR V1.9, which upgraded the Newry branch and a further Express extension to Newry Harbour. There is a route exclusive to the Class 220, and that is Newry Shuttle.
The train now standing at Platform 3 is the 2203 Stepford Express, service to Newry. Calling at Leighton Stepford Road, Benton, Eden Quay, and Newry. This train is formed of 4 coaches. First class is located at the rear of the train.
that is the Newry to Leighton City route, which is exclusive to the Class 220, which caused the popularity of the Class 801 had further decreased, but most Stepford Express drivers still use the Class 801 as of making of this video. Now we just finished talking about the background of these trains. What do the interior of the Class 801 had look like? Or something similar. On standard class, the seats are configured at 2+2 seating arrangement, with most seats are in airline style configuration, with some are in table arrangement, and my goodness, the seats are completely different story. The seats are uncomfortable. This is a somewhat downgrade compared to the HST or a Voyager. There is a bar on coach 2 which you can buy snacks, but this is temporarily closed. And oh my goodness, the first class are essentially a standard class, with the seats being the same, but with 2+1 seating arrangement and tables in each seats. It's worth mentioning that the first class seats are inaccurate compared to real life, and some people are agree with this. Why Express had to use the same seats as standard class? To think for a lonely people that has spent hundreds of pounds for first class seats. If you think about the interior, then the HST or the Class 220/221 should be purchased as a starter train instead, because it has detailed interiors compared to the Class 801. In my opinion, the Class 801 needs to be remeshed. Although the interiors are not good enough, the Class 801 has a good ride quality, just been ruined by lag or the broken movement system. At Coacher, there is a blocked off section, but they never even put a detail of a kitchen. In real life there is kitchen at Coach A. Now we just finished talking about the interior. Let's talk about fun facts. Number 1. The trains are known for being a party train along with Class 220/221. As you can see in this clip here, you can see a party train with the Class 801 doing Leighton Express, which it will go to Stepford Central. Number 2. The Class 801 is only the fully electric train on Stepford Express, with other being diesel transmission. And number 3. The Class 801 is the second highest numbered train in the game. Currently the highest numbered train is the Class 802. And last but not the least, the Class 801 is the second train to be meshed. The first train to be meshed is the Class 802, which is ironically the same train both made by Hitachi, but with dual mode operation, both diesel and electric. And this is the conclusion. Almost. The future about these trains. Currently there are no plans for the Class 801, but we can think about a remeshed model. The interiors of this train are quite inaccurate, but I think it's kinda okay. I think most guests and TDs had deserved about this train. Now this is the end about the topic of the Class 801, go and play SCR and check the adverts of Bodin, they've been removed by the Capital of Culture Committee, and also enjoy the cursed Newry to Lynn by the sea route. It transfers at Morganstown docks, and stops at Wester Coast because lol.